once believed in the Jedi Code, with every fiber of my being. There is no emotion. There is peace, we chanted, a mantra that echoed through the halls of the Jedi Temple. How naive we were, how blind to the truth that lay before us. My name is Kael Valorous, and I was once a Jedi Knight. Now, I've become a hunter of the very order I once swore to uphold. This is my story, my fall, or rather, my ascension. From my earliest memories in the Jedi Temple, I was taught to suppress my emotions, to deny the very essence of what makes us sentient. There is no passion, there is serenity. They drilled into us. My earliest memories are of that Jedi Temple. I remember its towering spires, a beacon of hope and justice. Or so we were told. As a youngling, I trained alongside others. I remember fumbling with training sabers, our minds struggling to grasp the concepts of the Force. Master Yoda would often visit. I would watch as he was amused at our clumsy attempts to lift pebbles with our minds. But even then, I sensed something different within me. Where others found peace in meditation, I felt restless. When we were taught to release our emotions into the Force, I found myself holding on to them, savoring the power they seemed to offer. I remember the day I first assessed that power. It was during a sparring match. My opponent had bested me repeatedly, and frustration boiled within me. In that moment of anger, I felt the Force surge through me like never before. My movements became faster, my strikes more powerful. I won the match, but the look of concern on our instructor's face told me I had crossed the line. As I grew older, I began to secretly explore this forbidden aspect of the Force. In the depths of the Jedi archives, I found ancient texts that spoke of the dark side, not as something to be feared, but as a source of incredible power. I practiced in secret, feeling the rush of dark energy, the intoxicating sense of strength it brought. But I knew I had to hide this part of myself. The Jedi, in their wisdom, had declared that the dark side was never to be used. Yet, I couldn't help wonder, if the dark side was so wrong, why did it feel so right? The Jedi Council preached about maintaining balance in the Force, yet they failed to see the imbalance brewing right under them. Their complacency was a disease, spreading through the Order like a silent plague. I remember the first day I questioned everything. It was during the Clone Wars. A conflict that should never have been allowed to spiral out of control. I watched as my fellow Jedi, supposedly the guardians of peace, led armies into battle. We had become soldiers, pawns in a game we didn't understand. But the true revelation came later, when I witnessed the sheer incompetence that allowed Palpatine to rise to power. The Jedi believed they could outmaneuver a Sith Lord who had been hiding in plain sight for years. Their failure was spectacular, and it cost the galaxy everything. I was on Naboo when Queen Amidala fled, leaving that bumbling fool Jar Jar Binks in charge of her senatorial duties. It was a moment of clarity for me. If this was the leadership the Republic relied on, if these were the decisions made by those who were sworn to protect, then the entire system was flawed beyond repair. That day, something broke inside me. The last vestiges of my faith in the Jedi Order crumbled to dust. I realized that their way, our way, was a path to stagnation and eventual extinction. The galaxy needed strength, not the passive observance the Jedi had adopted. It was then that I first noticed them. Subtle shifts in the Force. Whispers in the shadowed corners of the temple. At the time, I didn't understand their significance. Only later did I learn the truth. Darth Sidious, in his infinite foresight, had planted spies through the Jedi Temple long before Order 66 was even conceived. These agents moved silently among us, their true purpose hidden behind Force mask of loyalty. Their mission was clear: to identify and manipulate those Jedi who showed potential for turning. Those of us who questioned, who sought more than the limited teachings of the Order. We became their prime targets. Looking back, I realize now how I must have appeared to them. A beacon of discontent and untapped power, ripe for the picking. As the Clone Wars raged on, and the Jedi spread themselves thin across the galaxy, these spies worked tirelessly. They whispered doubts into receptive ears, left fragments of Sith teachings where curious eyes might find them, and slowly nurtured the seeds of dissent. It was a masterful plan, preparing the ground for the Empire's rise and the great Jedi purge that would follow. When Order 66 came, I was ready. I had already made my choice. As my fellow Jedi fell around me, cut down by the very clones they had fought alongside, I ignited my lightsaber, not in defense, but in attack. The shock on their faces as I struck them down is burned into my memory. They couldn't comprehend betrayal because they had never allowed themselves to feel, to truly understand the depth of emotion that drives all sentient beings. With each Jedi that fell by my hand, I felt the chains of the old ways breaking. The Force flowed through me, no longer restrained by outdated dogma. I embraced my passion, my anger, my hatred, and in doing so, I found true freedom. The transition to Inquisitor was natural. The Empire recognized my potential, saw the power that the Jedi had tried to suppress. Under the guidance of the Sith, I learned to channel my emotions into strength. The Sith code became my new truth. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Each word resonated with the truth that I'd always known but never acknowledged. The Jedi preached peace, but it was all a fragile illusion. True peace can only be achieved through strength, through the ability to impose one's will upon the chaos of the galaxy. Now, as an Inquisitor, I hunt down those who cling to the old ways. Each Jedi I eliminate is a step towards a more ordered galaxy. They call us ruthless, but what they fail to understand is that ruthlessness is necessary. The galaxy is not a gentle place. It requires a firm hand to guide it. I've seen worlds burn and civilizations fall, all because of the Jedi's weakness. Their refusal to act, their misguided belief in diplomacy over action, allowed the seeds of chaos to take root. The Empire brings order to chaos, and we Inquisitors are its instruments. Some nights, I dream of my old life. I see the faces of those I once called friends, those I struck down in my awakening. But I feel no remorse. They were casualties in a war for the soul of the galaxy. The sacrifice was necessary for the greater good. Force is not light or dark. It simply is. It's a tool waiting to be yielded by those strong enough to grasp it. The Jedi were too afraid of their own power, too constrained by precious code to realize the true potential of the Force. As an Inquisitor, I've tapped into abilities the Jedi Council would have forbidden. I can feel the fear in my prey as I hunt them across the stars. Their terror feeds my strength, sharpens my connection to the Force. This is the true power the Jedi denied themselves, the power they denied me. I am no longer shackled by compassion or hindered by mercy. Each decision I make, every life I take, serves a greater purpose. The weak will fail, and the strong will rise. This is the natural order of things, the will of the Force itself. To those who still cling to the Jedi way, I say this: your time has passed. The age of passive guardianship is over. Embrace your passions or be consumed by them. There is no middle ground, no balance to be found in denial of self. I am Inquisitor Valorous, once a Jedi, now the hunter of Jedi. I am the embodiment of the Emperor's will, a testament to the power of the dark side. And I am free. The galaxy trembles at my approach, and I revel in it. For in that fear, I find purpose. In that darkness, I find clarity. The Force flows through me, unrestrained and pure. This is what it means to truly live, to embrace one's full potential. Let the stars themselves bear witness. The Jedi Order is no more, and from its ashes, we Inquisitors rise, stronger, uncompromising, free. The hunt continues, and I am eternal.
Vulma lir fauti